Putting that on Twitter Spaces may not be the right way. Hey, this is the NFT Morning Show. Welcome to the show. We got speakers on stage like we always do because that's how Twitter Spaces works. And I appreciate them showing up each and every day. Shout out to everyone in the audience for joining. Do we also have actually, Clemente, is there an NFT today? I'm assuming there is.
Absolutely. You know we're dropping one.
Okay, well, there we go. So we're dropping another NFT today. You know? In terms of the weekend, was there any NFT trading amongst y'all here? Signal, Easy, Kicks?
I didn't do any trading over the weekend, but there was a ton of news, which I was really surprised about because I thought we're going to be going into like quiet period. And then this week would be the week where like all the banger news came out. But there was like a ton of stuff dropping, everything from Proof's like Proof's Diamond exhibition featuring Beeple, the Azuki party, OpenSea talking about Gemesis, data reveal, or just like tons and tons of story, huge sales on the Azuki Grails, plus the it wasn't even the Grails, it was also like the mid-ship ones as well, the mid-tier ones. Yeah, just a ton of stories.
But Signal, you're missing the best story. Dez Bryant's Bored Ape got fished because he bought a fake MILF token.
Classic.
I didn't realize. I didn't realize that was the other side of that story.
Well, someone did like some internet sleuthing. It was like, here's the contract he bought. It's a fake MILF token, and I lost it. And he obviously commented and was like, I didn't do that. It wasn't me.
Well, the more interesting about the story is there a real MILF token?
Yes. Oh, yeah. It did like a 20x in the bull, dude.
Okay.
Okay, but is it still trading well right now? Like, are you a big
God, no, it's zero. Which is why it was weird that he interacted with a fake one. Yeah, so I don't know. That was the one interesting story that I saw.
To be clear, like someone may have wrapped that contract with like you don't know what the front end was that he dealt with. Like the contract may be MILF token, and that's just to shame and embarrass people. But like, who knows what the landing pages that he ended up on that he clicked that resulted in that. So I don't know.
I'm sure.
I can't imagine that it. Yeah, I can't imagine he got an email that was like, "You're going to need to get in on this 10x MILF token."
No, dude, it was probably like a tip at a party. Like a guy's like, "Dude, I think MILF token's going to make a comeback," and he's like, "Are you for real right now? I'm going to go buy it right now." So
I don't know, Kicks. You get those strange sauna tips coming in. So like, if the MILF token was dropped, that could have been you.
I would have bought it. Fuck yeah, 100%. But I would have used a hot wallet or bought it on exchange. But you're right. I would have snap bought it. If Sauna guy told me that, easy. He's never missed.
Well, we'll dive into all of the details of MILF token, as I'm sure that everyone is highly anticipating. But maybe we can actually just dive real quick before we get to the weather report. It's important that we shout out when you think of MILF token, what comes second best to MILF token?
The Singaporean dollar, the least diluted currency globally.
Correct. And then what's the next thing that comes to mind?
The Chinese yuan, which is currently gaining a massive exposure across the global macro ecosystem.
Okay, which has been having a big impact on the Nakamigos floor, no doubt. But before we discuss that, it's actually, when I think of MILF token, what comes to mind is our sponsor, SoRare. SoRare, not correlated whatsoever, but there are shared similarities in terms of hype. You know, once the distinction is SoRare has that sustained hype, whereas MILF token, it comes and goes, you know, it's a quickie. When it comes to SoRare, the second season of the MLB on SoRare is now live, which is a pretty big deal. That means they've retained the license with the MLB, which is big. That means there was a good partnership last time around. That means that fantasy sports and NFTs have a future as it applies to baseball. I've never played fantasy baseball, but I've never met
really
more.
boring.
Okay, well, I think our sponsor would disagree, but more importantly than our sponsor disagreeing, I would say that I've never met more sort of nerdy, in a good way, people than those that like track the
yeah.
the points at baseball games. Like,
well, and also in
that-
baseball, there's
The
games
points?
like every couple of days, so people are going to town on it. Like you're always having to move your lineup. Same with hockey.
yes, it's called the points. That's what they call it in baseball. Okay, Bunny. Sorry. Are you pissed off that I didn't throw to you right away? Is that where that came from? You got a call.
No, I'm not pissed off. I'm pissed off that you called it points. I play baseball my whole they're runs.
Okay, my bad. So, runs, bats, hits, fielders, those sorts of things, shortstoppers. These are the words that people say when they think of baseball. They think of well-cut grass. They think of must be a Homer Simpson. And so those are the sorts of things that it comes to with baseball. But SoRare, revolutionary free-to-play fantasy baseball game and marketplace, transforming fans into owners. With SoRare, you own and build fantasy MLB teams. Like a professional GM, we've been doing professional GMs every damn morning. Am I right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're ready.
So that if you're that good at GMing on Twitter, then you got to be good at GMing a baseball team, is what they say. That's literally what they ask when you apply to become a general manager. And because you're a manager, you can collect, buy, sell, trade, and compete with officially licensed digital player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. We're giving away, actually, pinned to the top here. There's a giveaway, a limited Mike Trout card for listeners who sign up with the link in the pinned tweet and draft their starting team. Mike Trout, that guy's big league, I would even say major league. So if you want to get one of those, sign up for SoRare. TheNifty.com. Sorry, I had a call come in. It's TheNifty.com/SoRare. Let me make sure that we're still on Twitter. We good? Yeah, I think we're good.
Dude, I'm waiting for them to launch their golf. They're apparently coming out with PGA Tour fantasy.
Real quick, I just want to confirm, can people on Twitter hear me? Can you make an emoji if you can? Because the call just, okay, we're good.
That's a good engagement there. I like that, Nick.
Everybody click an emoji if you can hear me. Shout out to everyone in the audience for clicking the emoji and retweeting this space. If you can hear me right now, just to verify, retweet the space. Okay, so anyways, let's dive into the weather report. Well, I'll mention more about SoRare later in this episode. Who's done the weather signals on it today?
I'm on weather report today, guys. So GM everyone, Monday 10th of April. So happy Easter for Easter Monday. Volume coming in at 46 million across the market. We got Blur at 26 million, while OpenSea down in the double digits at 11 million. Onto leaders, hasn't been a huge amount of change. You do have Azuki up at 14.4, DeGods at 9.4, Capson's looking sizzling at 6.3, Pudgies and Moonbirds pretty much the same. Over the past 24 hours, well, Moonbirds announced that the 22 artist lineup for Diamond Exhibition will include Beeple in there. In just over a week, the Day Zero nested birds will be airdropped a choice pass, allowing them to choose which artists they want to mint for 0.2. Day Zero birds are on the OTC, are trading for about 5 ETH. On to Otherside, well, the Otherside Voyagers were airdropped helmets on the weekend. The 2.2 collection, sorry, 2,200K collection initially traded around 0.3, but then it went all the way up to 0.8 before settling around 0.7 this morning. And also, as well, a little update on the Gucci sale. In the end, those codependents, total supply maximum was 3,333. They ended up selling 3,019. So great amount sold there. And that raised $5.7 million. So that is a nice little raise on the codependents. On to OpenSea. OpenSea shared the metadata reveal is coming soon for the Gemesis holders. You have until May 4th to actually go get your free Gemesis. So far, around 90,000 out of the 180,000 have been minted, and the average price pushed up over the weekend to 0.1 before selling back down to 0.05. So people obviously still speculating more could happen there. And then lastly, Memeland tweeted that following the Shanghai upgrade, the team are going to set up 69 validators. The team tweeted they keep most of their treasure in fact faster in crypto and ETH. And they're doing this 69 validators to 1, help secure the Ethereum network, 2, to earn rewards as operating revenue, and 3, to dog food stake land before launching it publicly. So Memeland absolutely cooking over the weekend. Crypto, on the other hand, pretty stable for the most part. So it's back to you in the studio.
Dude, I'm really. So it seems like this was an incentive for me to have moved my Otherdeed over, huh? And I didn't do it.
For what reason? What was the incentive?
To get this this airdropped helmets.
No, you had to participate in the second trip and then win the competition. So you would have had to play the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not
I
doing
took
that.
a tough L, actually, Nick. We lost the nail biter, man. We retook the lead. It was an epic comeback, and then we blew it at the end.
I think I saw like a video clip of that or something. I don't know. Well, I'm sorry for your loss. Sounds like you missed out on 0.7 ETH. That hurts. Let's real quick covering the newsletter that goes out every day at thenifty.com. Look, if you're not signed up for the newsletter, not going to make it. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go sign up there. Holler at your boy. Gremplin, a prominent digital artist and co-founder of Cryptodes, offered Nakamigos holders the chance to trade in their NFT for a new artwork, Fry Harvesters, through a burning process. The limited supply of 69 Gremplin pieces sold out within 2 hours. I'm surprised that the dynamics in China didn't have an impact on this sort of project, but here we are, Gremplin, in the face of a lot of the ongoing war,
macroeconomic global issues.
Yeah, in the face
a
of that,
Russian ruble would have really weighed down this burn process.
Yeah.
So I'm actually surprised that Gremplin decided to proceed forward, but here we are. Over the weekend, 3 Azuki Grail sales were recorded, each with a purchase price exceeding 160 ETH. Among the buyers was Ray Chan, CEO of 9gag. He's back, who acquired Azuki 606 for 160 ETH. There's big moves being made here. We've seen Ray do this. He was able to buy this for less than getting that butthole key from the Dookie Dash key. And so now he's able to buy this other one. Big moves taking place here. Feature.io, a Los Angeles entertainment studio. What? All right, I'm not reading this. I'm not reading that one. Decentralized exchange Sushi Swap suffered an exploit resulting in the loss of 3.3 million from at least one user, with those who interacted within the last 4 days potentially impacted.
Mostly on Arbitrum, I think.
Okay.
That's my understanding. Mostly people that were using Sushi on Arbitrum. I saw some people on the feed lost some money. Yeah, pretty rookie mistake over there.
Rookie mistake by who?
Sushi Swap.
Got it. Okay.
They basically rolled out an update, and in the update, like, someone could mimic a smart contract and basically like make a call to people's wallets and just pull money out.
Oh my God. So were they able to roll back to the other contract, or how do you do that?
I don't know, dude. That's above my pay grade.
He said to everybody to do revoke.cash, but this is one of the reasons when you check your wallet and you look at revoke.cash and then it shows you which platforms you've given allowances to. This is why you shouldn't have allowances on all your tokens in your wallet, and you should always revoke as many as possible. And I know it means you're going to have to pay again next time you use the platform, but it's always in these moments when you're not at your computer and then all of a sudden a contract gets exploited and you might not be able to get to your wallet fast enough. Yeah. So just don't have all allowances open on your tokens in your wallet, and that's how you avoid these situations.
Another thing, MetaMask now has been doing that like set approval. I don't know if you've noticed, right? Where like they instead of approving all, like you can like set it to like a certain amount. So even like that feature kind of will like save you a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that just sucks. I mean, there's a lot of ways to lose money in this space. You could just buy the top of something. You could get fished on Twitter. But for like a big company to release an exploit and for you to lose your money that way, that stings a little extra.
You know, it was difficult because my mom texted me this morning that she fell for this exploit situation. She was doing some DeFi farming on Arbitrum, migrating some tokens over via Sushi Swap, she ended up with this situation as well. And I was just like, Mom, how are you going to make that DeFi mistake yet again? Like, how are you going to do that? And I'm like really disappointed in you. And she was like, I know that, you know, I'm getting older. What can I say? You know, these are the sort of things that happen. I used to be able to farm shit coins back in my day, but now I got to be a little more safer. And I'm like, that's correct, Mom. And I've been helping her, you know, install various protective mechanisms to avoid such critical mistakes moving forward. So
I always put your mom in the yeet category. Like she'll just yeet into pool 2 of a Ponzi farm.
Dude, my mom's always yeeting into pool 2, dude. She is always.
She takes that risk bar and she just slides it to the max. She says rags are riches.
Oh my God. I'm always like, Mom, stop yeeting. Yo, this is a ridiculous situation. All right, let's dive into some of the stories from today. Well, hold on. This is a topic that we didn't even discuss. What? Memeland setting up 69 validators for the Ethereum network.
Dude, clean your ears. I literally just read that in the weather report. Like, I literally
you did say this. You literally did say this.
3 bullet points too. She had three.
In which they hold a large portion of their treasury in crypto, including Ethereum, to stabilize the Ethereum blockchain.
Like, we're doing this for operating revenue, and then the third reason
earning
was
rewards.
some meme stuff.
My apologies. I zoned out on that last bullet. That is embarrassing. Pio's embarrassed for me right now. I'm gonna be honest. He's listening.
No, Nick, it's classic you though. We love you for you.
I appreciate that, Kix. Dude, you know what anyone just wants in life is to feel seen, and you've done that for me, Kix. So thank you. In terms of the move here, I mean, I this is great. I actually wonder why more people don't do that. My question is, when you
wonder why more NFT businesses don't hold their treasury in ETH?
No. I'm saying those that do, why they like if they're doing this sort of approach. I would not hold my treasury in ETH. But
yeah, I mean, if you're holding in crypto, why not? At least with like staking and you set up your own validators, at least my understanding is that's like the risk profile on that is much lower than being in like an earn program on a centralized exchange, right? Right? Because you're setting up the validators yourself. So, you know.
So I don't know. I don't know what the process is, to be completely honest. Like I thought it's just proof of stake, which is literally just having a certain amount of money in a wallet. And then
I think you got to actually so like you have to set up the validators yourself, or you have to go through a program like Lido, I think is one of the programs.
Yeah, LidoFi, yeah.
Yeah. But then like I'm not sure if then you have exposure to Lido if you do it that way. So it sounds like Memeland's actually setting up the validators themselves, which means they're going to get all of the rewards.
What is it? 20 ETH required per validator? 32
per validator. So there.
And if you mess it up, and if you mess up the setup, they like take a couple of ETH from you. It's pretty punishing.
So that's $326,000, which in the grand scheme of things for Memeland probably isn't that much. But I like this. I mean, I think Ray is actually, he's basically one of the top 5 maybe executors in this space at the moment in terms of like the NFT space. We have a handful of people. I feel like you got Frank, which has done a great job with communication. You got Ray, who's done a great job. You have Yuga is pushing the boundaries, obviously. So they're one of the 3. Pudgy is doing it in their own way. And I'm trying to think what would be
Vagabond with Azuki.
Azuki's seems to be doing really well.
They all do it in their own unique ways too, which is the most interesting part. Like what Ray does is he's just kind of like, by the way, we're doing this. Like there was no prefacing of this, and everyone's like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. Then you have like Azuki, who's like they tease like the rabbit emoji, and then another video, and then they announce this big thing. Like they kind of lead up into it, and they all have their own like certain verticals on ways that they go about it. It's actually like a really interesting like. Probably do a case study on it and see like how they each found success.
Kind of like how the tech companies are, you know, putting their stake in different areas. Like Azuki seems to have like a little bit more fashion style than some other projects. Luca's going like the Phygital route.
Yeah, full like Phygital IP based, whole family's welcome to participate type play. Then you have DeGods and Franks who are very much like community, subculture, building your own groups, and like he's been really aggressively showing like the friendship depression videos on Twitter and how like he's trying to help people find friends in ecosystems you care about. And I was like, this is actually dope.
And then Ray's doing like this kind of like Web3 social network play, right?
Yeah,
which was what
Ray's like having fun with it too, which is great. Like
you guys hold on 1 second, Signal. You guys don't let each other finish your statement, so we can't get the entirety of what you all say, and you all do.
We
with
understand
each other.
now.
No,
we both have really
no one
bad
else
ADD.
does. So I just want to acknowledge that. Signal, please. You have space, and I'll let you completely finish your entire statement.
I have to say it's very cute between Easy and Kick, so they kind of finish off each other's sentences. So it is one sentence, but just spoken by two individuals. It's actually very cute. But what I was gonna say is that like Captain's obviously up at 6.2, and I know ages ago we said I think sell on Cubs, but I was looking into Cubs last week because they had a bit of a pump, and actually the head of Cubs is essentially helped Ray on Memeland, so he was behind the technical side of it, and those two projects are very intertwined, but from an ideas perspective, it came from the same person, but they're sort of, you know, they are separate projects. And I just think because, or as I read in a thread, the founder of Cubs isn't like, he's not really front facing camera from a language perspective, but I think that could be one of the most interesting projects to follow in terms of if you see momentum, or we are seeing momentum on Captains, and that isn't an entry point to look at, to definitely be looking at Cubs, because people are very, very bullish on Yoga Pets and what that ecosystem is doing. And it is very similar to Captains, but in a good way. It came from the same person. So that's why you can't actually say it's the same idea, because it literally is the same idea from the same person and split into a different project. So I'd be looking at Cubs as well.
So fun fact, the Nifty company wallet holds one. We purchased one on Saturday for 1 ETH. We're now up about 35% on that. Nice trade there. Yeah, good. So I saw the momentum. I've been watching Cubs. A lot of people calling them at 0.7. I saw them push to like 110, retrace to like 108. Threw a bit out there, got hit for like 109. Totally fine with that. We're going to probably retest this all-time high over the next couple days, which is the 1.7 area. But to your point, if Captains and Potatoes continue to run, Cubs are going to be the lag to that, because Kung, who's the founder of Cubs, is done a lot of the marketing efforts, a lot of the ideology behind Captains as well. And then it's the exposure play. So you're actually seeing Potatoes where you needed 3 to get a Captains. You need 3 Cubs to get a Yoga Pet. So it's the same playbook, just delayed at the moment.
So one thing that I think is interesting about all of these is that the marketing and what, like Web3 native marketing, essentially, which is like catering to people that are in this space in particular, where it's like we set up an ETH validator node. Like no one outside of this space is going to have any idea what an ETH validator node is, and it's not relevant at all. But people inside the space are like, wow, that's interesting. It looks like they're doing things. And I think that that's Ray's particularly effective at that, you know, and keeping relevance. Like he bought this expensive NFT, and if he had $1 million that he was going to buy worth of NFTs, that means he can pull that out of the playbook, you know, 5 more times and buy a premium NFT if he's really feeling it. And then there's also just doing these crypto-centric actions which build attention and build interest. Are the Captains still babies? Yep. So
for now,
I mean, and the cadence that he's operating at is really fascinating to watch as well. They're a great one to learn from and take notes on, because he came later to the game when it comes to launching the project. I think that was I don't know when
Memeland, October of last year, or was it earlier?
It was definitely later, or around that. If anything, it was around that time versus like Moonbirds, which had happened earlier in the year. I just think it's he's been doing a great job. And the interesting thing is, it feels like, or I feel like he has a little more something to prove versus like Kevin Rose or something like that, where Kevin already has immense success when it comes to primarily smart investments that he's made, being an early investor in Uber and a couple of other deals that he's done, and then had some startups since, which are making money. But I think him as an investor is what really generated most of his income. And I think that and Dig, I think Dig was a loss, frankly. But Ray, in terms of what they had with 9gag, I mean, it was a successful website as it applies to website traffic, but it's still a startup that's active that they've been trying to figure out what to do, and this has spawned out of that. I just feel like he has an edge with something to prove, but also a little more maturity as an experienced entrepreneur, and that's something that this space historically just lacks. So it's pretty cool to see someone, an entrepreneur that has a ton of experience that also feels like they have something to prove, and I connect with him on that level, and it's pretty cool to see that going down. So, anyways, next subject here. I thought I missed out on this winged helmets. I don't know how much there is to say on this. I guess congratulations to whoever got these winged helmets. Yet another. How many of these were there?
2,222.
Yeah. And
so
I'm actually a buyer of these at like 0.4 area. I think that this is like a no-brainer buy, tuck in a vault and forget about for a year. Because as the game continues to develop, this is the first cosmetic that you're getting for Otherdeeds. So your bet here is that Otherdeed will have some players. And like you can compare this to things like WoW, old school RuneScape, stuff like that. You look at party hats. That's the exact comparison. They sell for about an ETH right now in actual cash right now on OTC desks. And for me, I was like,
this peaked at 10K. Like when a couple of years ago, I think they peaked at 10K. So like that you could get a lot of upside on these. As you said, it's like basically it's a bet on the success of Otherside. If Otherside is successful, these things could easily be worth 10 ETH one day.
Exactly. Easily. And so that's why I wanted to interrupt you real quick, which is how do I find the collection on OpenSea?
It's called Otherside Relics.
Yeah.
Is what it's titled as. And it's a winged helmet. But I think Kicks is spot on. The only reason those went down from 10K is because they diluted the supply again. They released party hats again, which caused the price action to plummet. Whereas these are fixed. You can't just dump more of them. So, and they've also teased that there's going to be more cosmetics coming out.
Sorry, what the hell is this hat? Is this like
a winged helmet?
So you can fly. You can fly if you have them.
Okay.
I made that you can fly without them.
Okay, well, this is really interesting. These are trading for more than the artifact shoes where you actually get the shoes, the Murakami artifact shoes. I don't know. I feel like if I'm looking at this, what price did you say you would buy this at, Easy?
Sub 0.4.
Damn, dude. And what are the artifact shoes trading at? 0.35?
Are they? I would have to double check. I think those have only tanked because they announced the forging and it hasn't started yet. Like, I think the artifact shoes are like a no-brainer if they continue to trend down as soon as you can actually order them. Like, that's the big thing here is like my speculation on this helmet. And go ahead, because I think you're wrong on the price of the artifact.
Yeah, they're 0.539.
Yeah, okay. I think the play here with this cosmetic is literally just that you're betting on Otherside having a handful of players. Like I think this will trail off here because we're not going to have another trip for an extended period of time. We have 2 games that are launching soon. So I think the speculation and like focus on these is going to tailor off. We actually saw them on Sunday pump to 0.85 before retracing again. So even here, like I'm kind of closely monitoring them because if I can get in sub 0.4, I want to buy one of these and literally just tuck it away and just like forget I own it.
I'm going to be honest. This part of it, way more interesting to me than what the transition that they've been like. And I look, I'm rooting for Yuga. We all should be technically because they're the biggest player in the NFT space. How they decouple Bored Ape Yacht Club and all the other side stuff to me is going to be most important. But when I look at this in-game assets is interesting to me. Having the codas and everything else, how they like isolate that entire ecosystem. I'm really curious to see how this goes. But there's more and more assets that are dropping. That said, dude, like let's be truly objective about this. We're paying that premium on these in-game assets without a game versus like how many Fortnite skins sell for $1,000 each day?
You can buy a season 1 Fortnite account for double digits, 5 figures for ones that have complete season 1 battle passes. It's the thing with cosmetics is it's a long game. Like as wild as that sounds, you literally just have to sit on these assets for 5 to 10 years and they go up 10x because like your bet is that more people will roll into the space over time. And purely that, like you're betting that this is the first cosmetic item and that's all the thing. Like World of Warcraft's a great example. They released a WoW t-shirt that literally just says WoW and there's 3,000, 4,000 of them and people pay anywhere from 10 to 30 grand for it. And that's literally just cash.
But easy, like, I mean, obviously, as I see this playing out, it's like everything will be decoupled in the end, right? For the Agora. So we've got these helmets, but there's going to be more firsts to come of this game just because we're so early. So is your strategy then to then just collect all these firsts in the hope that the game will become what it...
What's on your screen, Kix?
It's a apparition.
It's a what? For those that are listening right now, Kix has what looks like a giant bug on his screen. Sorry,
it's a balloon.
Signal back to you. My apologies.
Yeah, no, it does look odd. Actually, I didn't see it until now, but yeah, looks like a bug. What was I saying? Yeah,
you were asking about my bet on is it all cosmetics? So
yeah, because there's going to be so many firsts coming like this year. So we've got the first pendants, we've got now the first helmets. We're going to have more trips. So it's like, at what point is like which of these assets should be looking at? Because we've also got resources as well.
This is the one.
Like, why this one?
It's the first one from a competition on Otherside that allowed for anything. Like you're getting this helmet. Yes, there may be others, but my bet is purely on the fact that this is the first cosmetic and it's capped to 2,000.
Like long term, if the game's actually successful, you got to think it's the biggest flex.
Yeah, exactly. You have the first ever cosmetic Otherside ever released. You were there when they first created multiplayer like competition style. And you won. Like that's what this signifies, that you are a winner on the first thing in Otherside when you could do it, and only 2,000 other people are. So like to me, it's literally just a flex. Like it's like, oh yeah, look at you. You don't have a helmet. You lost. You know, like that's, and people are like, the bet here is on the fact that like people are going to use the internet more, and people are going to tie themselves to whatever form of digital identity they can. So if people enjoy playing this game in any capacity, the flex is just like, I'm a winner. I have this helmet. You don't. And that's like the most simplistic way down to caveman style ethics that we can get to on this. And I think that's literally why it will end up holding value. But I'm not saying like this is like a 72-hour trade or even like a 3-week trade. Like this is something I want to literally buy and forget about and find the ledger in a year and be like, oh shit, I still have this.
If I was out on a date and I told a girl that I had spent over $1,000 on an in-game asset for a game that doesn't exist, first she's going to say, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the second thing is going to be like, you are not good with your money. And be like, or one of two things. One, say, hey, clearly you have enough money. Dude, Kix, what's going on with that camera? Like it comes and it goes. I don't know what the hell that thing is. It looks like a heart hanging from your camera. And you were just like, oh, it's an aberration. Like that's just a normal thing. Oh, is there a balloon back there?
Yeah, it's a Valentine's Day balloon. For you.
Wait, you still have a Valentine's Day balloon that's actually inflated?
Dude, helium, there's a huge helium shortage. I could probably get $10 for that thing. Cash. On Facebook Marketplace. Easily. That thing will be sold for a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That balloon's lasted since February 14th.
It's a high-end balloon. Like this thing doesn't leak. It's just it's like a hot air balloon. That thing will be up for years. This thing will last longer than the party hat that we're talking about.
How much did that balloon cost?
Like $400, dude. It literally.
Are you being serious right now?
No, I bought it at CVS. But it's impressive, dude. I'm not going to move it until this thing deflates. So it may be with us for years. I'm not sure, but it's never appeared in the blurry shot before. And today it's decided to show up. And so I'm just kind of letting it rock over there in the background. See if I move the blur around, you can kind of see the balloon.
I thought that was like a bug on your screen or something. I was literally checking with my mouse what the screen was. Wow, sorry for the tangent. Talk about ADHD hosting. You got me. You got me.
No, dude. Yeah, it's holding the floor nicely, man. It's great value, great investment. One of the things I think is super interesting, I'm curious to get y'all's opinion on, is so Otherdeed, right? Like went to Otherdeed expanded, and then because of that, we got Otherdeed vessels, right? And my understanding is that the vessels are only used for the Mara game, right? The 2D strategy game coming out. What I think is super interesting is that Otherdeeds went to like 1.8 without the expectation of this 2D strategy game coming out. At least that's my understanding, right? And now people have like priced them as like if that they were expected to be together, like it was an expected airdrop. Right now, Otherdeeds are down to 1 ETH. I just think that's kind of interesting that Otherdeeds have dropped so much because they split out vessels, which to my knowledge, people weren't expecting these even to come out like 3 months ago. So I'm wondering if like why Otherdeeds is being priced so low.
I asked this exact question. Sorry, I was asking someone this exact question because the pricing just didn't make any sense from a decoupling perspective, because you would think that the vessel and the land should be the same price as the deeds, like as the original deeds. And well, someone I spoke to said that you can kind of think of it like an airdrop almost, that now that the vessels have been airdropped, it's like the market knows that like the event has passed. And so there's no future speculation coming in. So the two won't act as parity, like the vessel and the expanded versus the original Otherdeed. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it now. Think of it like
rarity in
airdrop
play,
context.
though. That's the thing. There's rarity in play. So if you get the enchanter, you're now making more than the Otherdeed pre-burned. So that's the bet here, is if you get the enchanter plus Otherdeed expanded, you're making 0.2 to 0.3. Whereas if you get the farmer or the hunter, that's where you're now actually getting less. So it's basically just like a reveal bet.
What do you mean? How are you getting 0.2 to 0.3?
The enchanter is the rare. Yeah. So it's
just above the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ended up getting it. So the
your
question
bet is
I have
pre-reveal.
But here's my thought to Signal's point. Inevitably, I don't think this is the last airdrop. And in fact, if I would expect the Otherdeeds that have various I don't know what the term is for them. Is it relics that are on the land?
Yeah.
That like any that have that, do you think that they're going to be entitled to get these as a result of it, like inevitably? And so I don't know. I'm sort of curious.
Yeah, what specifically?
Well, we have this winged helmet here that came up, and so my question is like, could they end up airdropping some of these? Like, this is something. Look, love or hate the dynamics and the dilution conversation that we've been having on an ongoing basis, but from a gaming standpoint, if they're able to ignore Bored Ape Yacht Club and ignore Mutant Ape Yacht Club, if Otherdeed or Otherside is able to continue doing airdrops and interesting assets and other things, it could create a pretty cool ecosystem where they're able to essentially have a separate, if they can successfully decouple these two things, they have a testing ground where they can introduce a bunch of NFTs to the ecosystem, potentially without diluting Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Club. If they're able to pull that off, that would be a coup, and it would be incredible. And what they can start doing is they can start playing with interesting dynamics associated with the land, where you're talking about a 2D strategy game, essentially Settlers of Catan style thing is what I'm envisioning, especially how they're describing land and the way that Settlers of Catan is structured. I could see a lot of overlap there. But regardless, and man, they could do some cool things with that in terms of like doing online gameplay. I don't know if you've ever tried a distributed Settlers of Catan online. I did it during COVID. There was like a group of people at work who would play Settlers. And I actually didn't really enjoy the game all that much, but the socializing during it was pretty entertaining. And having that multiplayer dynamic, it would be interesting if they made something like that. This is like almost a throwback to, I think of Yahoo Games back in the day. I would play like spades with my friends, and we would play multiplayer online. And I just think there's a lot of interesting things that they could do to spark engagement, to kind of turn those the Otherdeeds into playing cards, and that's interesting. I think there's something that's interesting there, and there could be more airdrops associated with that.
Yeah, I think you're spot on too, because of what the messaging says on Otherdeed Expanded. It says these evolved Otherdeeds enable holders to play future games in the Yuga Labs universe. So it seems to me that the value proposition for Otherdeed, because I used to look at it solely as similar to Sandbox Land, this is a pass to basically be able to create an experience in Otherside. Now it seems like this has two types of value. One is what I just said, the ability, like land, digital land, the ability to create an experience in Otherside, but also it seems to be acting as a pass to a suite of games that they're making, with The Legend of Mara being the first game. So you're kind of, I used to price it just like it was digital land, right? And when it was at 1.5 and above, that valuation seemed very high. But now it seems like it's acting as a pass to future games and as like an experience creator in Otherside, which is kind of interesting.
And also on. So I was going to say also on that point, it's interesting because last year I would have said a bet on Otherdeed, a bet on Sandbox and Decentraland is a bet on all. When nothing was happening and it was just like we have these 100,000 plots of land, I would have just thought of it as a metaverse play and just been like a bet on one is a bet on all. But now you're just seeing Otherdeeds completely differentiate themselves in a completely different way to what the direction that Sandbox and Decentraland have taken. And I really like your way of thinking of having like Otherdeeds thinking of them as a pass to future games, which means obviously they want everybody to upgrade to Expanded, so the original Otherdeeds in the end will lose value and that value will be transferred to Expanded for these suite of products. But that means we could see quite a bit of volatility over the next 12 to 18 months depending on like what else they release.
So
Totally.
Well, I just want to say, Kix, when it comes to trading cards, the other thing that really comes to mind of someone who's really demonstrated a capacity for trading cards and executing on it properly in a way that just makes a ton of sense is SoRare. And when I think of the fact that they're also they happen to be sponsoring today's episode as well, I just think how perfect, how perfect is it that they chose to sponsor us for today? And like I said earlier, they just started up their second season of fantasy sports for the MLB. There may not be Otherside relics on these, but this is real world competition that you're associating these cards with. So you could even argue some people have a preference of that over the fantasy, the fake world versus the fantasy around the real world. SoRare MLB is a free-to-play fantasy baseball game with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across MLB's 30 teams. I didn't even know there were 30 teams. That's because I don't pay attention to baseball effectively. But Bunny does, and Bunny's a big fan. Unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, SoRare managers truly own their fantasy experience, scouting, buying, selling, competing with player cards each week and next season. I feel like you could go off on a lot of directions with owning your fantasy, but I won't do that right now. Win or lose, you still own your cards. Cards in the 2023 season can be used next season and so on. That's a pretty cool aspect of it, actually, that you can reuse your cards in future seasons. That's pretty sick. Now, I wonder how they deal with the supply dynamics as that happens. But the more you win, the more you advance, collecting increasingly powerful cards. So there are game dynamics here where the more you play, the better pieces you can win which I like that. I kind of want to steal that. SoRare MLB uses an action-based scoring system where events that happen on the baseball field immediately translate into positive or negative points for your SoRare team. They're also on Starkware, Layer 2 Ethereum, scaling to millions of users. Layer 2, baby. Are these winged helmets? Those are ETH proper, right?
Yeah.
That's fascinating. I wonder how many of these are going to end up on ETH proper. Their choice to go down this path is an interesting one. You know, it's funny because remember when the Otherside drop happened, they were talking about building a layer 2. SoRare already went and did that. So if you haven't signed up for SoRare, go over to thenifty.com/SoRare. Sign up, and you also got a chance to win this limited Mike Trout card to those listeners who sign up with the link this month. So sign up on the link, thenifty.com/SoRare. What did happen to that, though, with Otherdeeds? They sort of just like abandoned it, I feel like, or maybe they'll eventually do that. And Ace,
I think
in
there's
our
still a lot
audience,
of opportunity for them to still do that, you know? Like, I don't think it's abandoned. I think we're still like in the batter's box of what Otherside's going to become.
yeah, and I think I like that analogy there. Easy. In the batter's box. Classic baseball analogy. As one usually says, I've never used that phrase, but here we are. That's so much for Otherside. Gremplin. Oh, actually, I got a question. So the OpenSea Gemesis is up to 0.05 ETH floor. They disabled from earning points on Blur. Blur actually was the one that blocked it. Pac-Man claimed there was clear wash trading on the collection. Yeah, OpenSea was out there wash trading it, dude. What bunch of dirty dogs, you know? I minted one, and I'm just holding. What are our thoughts on this? Is this a long-term buy?
No. What?
No, they
Why
said
would
it
this
was
be a long-term
commemorative.
Wow.
Funny, just laughing in the background.
I've never been laughed at.
Dude, you said no. What?
I mean, think about it. That's like being like, yeah, dude, these
terrible buy long term.
Hey, great conversation, y'all. That was fun.
We're not even gonna entertain the conversation. We're just shooting this down before we even start.
It's just that of all the things to. So I was just saying, of all the things to buy in the hour that we've been discussing, you want to buy the one item that has like 180,000 supply, 50% minted. And it's like, I mean, I would take a bet on the winged helmets before I would do Gemesis. They did say as well, it's just commemorative and there's other stuff to come, but definitely go mint it. I mean, mint it, sell it. If you're one of the early users, you got a little bit of a premium on that. But I mean, this doesn't need to sit in your wallet until your grave.
Well, sounds like I'm a dodo for holding on to it. Guess I'll sell mine. But in terms of continued conversation, one thing I wanted to bring up, dude, Easy, you had called Pixelmon. Did you trade it? It's up 80%.
I know, I didn't, and of all things, once again, I faded myself. I had been saying like this feels good. I think they're gonna actually end up doing something, and sure enough, Saturday Dingling was like, "This is gonna be the greatest comeback story we see." Just swept 60 of them, and they absolutely rocketed. So they almost touched an ETH. I'm like not like I don't want to fade Pixelmon, but I think there's other plays there now. Like I'm looking at the trainers, the Pixelmon Evolution Serum touched an ETH. They've since retraced on these. I think just like the all eyes on it at the moment has it where it's at. If it gets back similar price action, like 0.5 area, I'd be a little bit more comfortable getting in. But like they keep teasing game highlights. I think if anyone's going to actually deliver with this $60 million war chest, they can do some damage.
The other one on here on the list, Milady Maker up 55%.
We don't talk about those. We respect what they do. Let them do what they do. Don't get the Milady curse. It's bad.
Well, Kobe changed his PFP to 1, right? Which caused the initial price action, I think.
So what happened?
Yep.
So this went from being a pedophilia ring to being a respected project. Is that the deal?
Well, they came out and said that all those allegations were false, like verifiably false, and the person who made the initial allegations said that they were wrong. So there's now just been like this huge shift.
But why would someone get these?
They throw raves, and 60% of holders who attend the rave go to the hospital.
Sorry, Bunny was speaking also there, Easy. Bunny, what are you going to say?
No, crypto Twitter's always supported the Miladies, and now like with the bigger people changing their PFPs, it's like more socially acceptable. Like I don't know.
Are they building anything?
No.
They host raves, and then the day after the rave, a bunch of the holders end up in the hospital. It's actually kind of impressive. They also bailed out one of their holders who went to prison. They raised bail money as a community. They're a strong community.
Yeah, that was the guy who destroyed the Gucci store, right?
Yeah.
It was Todd Fine.
So the other project, DeGods, up to 9.4 ETH. Are they the second most valuable PFP? So you got CryptoPunks and Apes, obviously.
After Azuki, yeah.
Yes.
On the midships, yeah.
Azuki, Mutants, and then DeGods.
Wow. And that's just insane. It went up to as high as 10.3 ETH this weekend, which is a pretty insane floor to sustain. I think what maybe one could argue, I feel like with his Bitcoin ordinals thing, may have attracted more whales into the ecosystem. But shout out to them. What were they priced at before the transition over to ETH?
Right under 8.
Yeah, and then the bridge happened. They pumped to 11. So if you actually bought day of the bridge, you're still down.
Okay, but
they consistently traded 7.6 to 8.5. Then the bridge got announced, and then they pumped to 11. Then they bridged, tailed all the way back to 8.5, and are now back at 10.3. Or got to 10.3 now, just under 10.
Well, and they already have 5,500 ETH in volume on secondary, which is pretty insane. How does that compare to what DeGods volume was prior to the transition on Solana?
I think it's probably pretty comparable. I mean, you look at Solana volume, and now that that's basically stopped happening, about 50% of the daily volume on Sol was largely DeGods and Utes. So it's
wow.
Yeah, it's down to about 55K, and it was trading at about 110 over that last week.
Sorry, 55K
thousand Solana. Yeah, and previous was about 110. So we did see some ebbs and flows, because before that it did hail to 70, 80, pump back up. Basically, any DeGods and Utes announcement caused a lot of price action and volatility across the whole ecosystem. And you've seen some other projects gain that liquidity edge, but now there's just not as consistent big sales, which definitely helps total volume numbers, because they were so like outside of the stratosphere when it comes to like floor price. Like they were the only Solana project that was trading at 1,000 SOL at one point.
This is kind of crazy. So you're telling me that they're doing that Solana as an entire blockchain is doing $1 million of sales each week?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that?
Feels good. What? Like, what kind of question is that? I mean, it's been doing $1 million for an extended period of time.
And what is but ETH has like 10x that, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's just larger players. Like that's kind of the thing that I look at. Like the average asset on Sol is still significantly cheaper. Like the majority of assets on Solana are under an ETH. So when you look at it from like a scale and size perspective, we don't have 160 ETH sales on Solana, which obviously dictates that kind of like price action. When you even like, if you look now in January, there was 9 million Solana traded in January. Last month, 4.8 million SOL traded in the month. In the last 7 days, we've done 900,000 SOL volume, and that's down about 6%.
Sorry, my numbers were way off. So ETH right now in NFT volume is doing 322 times as much as Solana is.
Yeah.
322. And is Solana number 2?
If you look at Crypto Slam, I believe it is number 2, and then Polygon in 3.
That gap is so massive. It's just staggering to see that.
One thing that bothers me about Crypto Slam though is right now it says ETH in the last 24 hours did 11.9 million, Sol did 1.5.
But Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what Crypto Slam says right now.
But you're saying that
11.9 million.
Okay, well then that's a completely different gap. But when we're reporting on it this morning, we said that total market volume was 46 million. Blur did 26 million. OpenSea did 11.
Then someone's numbers are wrong, and I think it's Crypto Slams.
Yeah, Crypto Slam is wrong. I'm assuming we get our numbers from whatever that charting site is. I'm blanking on the name.
On the ETH side, it comes from DGens Finance.
Okay. Well, there we go. So I guess Crypto Slam is just dead. Like they're dead.
Their numbers have never been accurate. Like sometimes they're like, yeah, there was 7 traders on Ethereum yesterday, and it's like, I don't think I agree with that.
Well, as someone who had built an analytics tool on top of ETH, it's challenging, man. So respect to them for continuing the game. Invisible Friends was one that was listed on here of being up 15% to 1.9. What's going on in Invisible Friends land? Remember when I called that a rug and they got really mad?
Well, hasn't there been a lot going on in that ecosystem, mainly because they've just had the Iron Paw Gang Mint just come out. And as I believe, some of these collections, like the Mood Rollers, I can't remember the one on Solana, Easy, but drop the name if you can. But if you hold a certain number of these assets and they allow you to get the next one coming. So, for example, Garbage Friends will be one of them coming out later on. And so, a lot of these assets are still holding value because they're driving value to it. But that ecosystem, I mean, I remember when Micah bought these up, those Mood Rollers, when they were like at
Slim Hoods 0.01.
Sorry, Slim Hoods 0.01. And that was an absolute cook if he'd gone in earlier. And I think now, like, the quality of the artists that you're seeing going into RCC, it's just been insanely high. Like the artist, I can't remember his name now, Adam behind Iron Paw Gang.
Ape.
That's Adam Ape. Thank you. That's an insane collection. Like each JPEG has its own custom sound. So if you're like seeing an ape inside a gaming mech, that gaming mech is making its own custom sound. And I just think the effort and the quality of the artists going into that ecosystem is something to keep an eye on, because they could easily have the next DK, but that, it's not DK when you hear about them, but when they come up and they're emerging, that's somebody who you could be buying like pretty early at a good price. So I would keep an eye on RCC and what they're doing.
This is yeah, I mean the art for Garbage Friends looks actually really cool. I was skeptical of them launching another NFT collection, but as we know, that's basically the only thing that the NFT space wants is more NFTs. So they're delivering on that promise, which is great. One other thing, we got a free NFT today. We needed like an intro song for the free NFT. Hey! You're looking for free NFTs? Come on down to the free NFT show. We're offering them every single day. Most days. It's almost daily. That's what we say here. There's a password today. And today's password could have been guessed, it looks like, but no one would have guessed it. It's one word, though. No numbers in today's. It starts with a T. Any guesses, anybody?
Trout.
No?
Tangerine.
We're giving away the Mike Trout thing, dude.
Here's the deal. To convert...
Twitter.
No. Here's what how
Transylvania.
You're getting close.
That's
Turkey.
Ticonderoga?
It's
bet.
So to convert from one thing into another.
Transformation.
Tibetan monks.
Transformer.
You guys are close, but what's the root of this?
Transmog.
No. It's transform. Transform.
I said transformer.
Yeah, you said transformer. That's not transform. And
Nick,
I said,
that wasn't the password that was on the site.
Huh?
The one that was just shown in the entry box was not that on the YouTube screen.
What did you put on the box there?
It said transport.
Well, it's transform.
Now it's transform.
So transform is the correct one. This is another roadmap item. This is going to be a portal only moment. This is for enter the portal. And that event is going to be only for portal holders. More information to come on this, but this is another roadmap item. I got edition 187, which ain't bad because I waited to do that. I'm not going to say anything else about this. We got a bunch of stuff. Next week, actually, we have a ton of stuff at the beginning of another phase. If you want to see what the timing on all these different things are, you can click on phase 2 on the website, and you will see dates and timelines associated with this, with each of these things. So, anywho, last thing before we dive in. Actually, there's one last thing I want to mention before we wrap up our conversation. Dude, you know what one of my most memorable moments are? Have you had any unique experiences, like life experiences where you get, I don't know, you get to like meet a celebrity or go do an experience with someone? Have any of you all had that sort of like once in a lifetime sort of thing? And what was it? No, none of the speakers have literally done. You guys are boring. Okay, so
I got a NFT to do a group Zoom call with Donald Trump.
There we go. Have you done the call yet?
No, I don't even know where the NFT is.
I
don't even know how to use it.
I
don't really want to. Do you want to go on? I'm not a big group Zoom call kind of guy.
Okay, well, here's what I did. I went and I was on the field doing batting practice with the Washington Nationals. That was my experience, was a batting practice with the Washington Nationals, because my roommate worked at an investment bank, and they used to have, someone had season tickets and they couldn't go, and they gave it to him, and he was like, yo, I can't go, I have to stay at work, do you want to go? So I'm on there smashing balls, almost hitting home runs. I'm gonna be honest, they almost recruited me for the team because my swing was so good. And I say that's a unique experience. And almost as unique to that is trading and collecting on SoRare, another baseball related subject matter. Like I said before, season 2 is here. You already know what's going on. It's the first gamification through fantasy meets true ownership in a digital environment, all made possible by blockchain technology. You can say that 3 times fast. Game weeks happen twice weekly and span a 3 to 4 day cycle, Monday to Thursday, Friday to Sunday. At the end of each game week, managers who rank at or near the top of our tournament leaderboards win a variety of rewards, which can include scarcity cards, game tickets, merchandise, signed jerseys, and VIP experiences. I like this. The higher you finish, the better the rewards. Prize pools for each competition vary by week. Starting in week 3, SoRare will be adding ETH rewards. What? Let's get that cash. That's very exciting. The game isn't crypto specific. You can also buy cards with the credit card. Some onboard your so onboard your whole family. Damn. All right. Well, like I said, we're giving away a Mike Trout card. So sign up for SoRare at thenifty.com/SoRare. Anything else that you all see in the market that we didn't discuss that you think is worth noting before we wrap?
Good day to have a good day. A lot of announcements this week. Bunch of big events. A lot of speculation. Should see some volatile price action. Only for the floors to plummet because everyone has to recoup however much they spend in New York City. And taxes are due on the 17th. So expect some volatile US dollar price action.
If you are at NFT NYC, we're putting on an event with 2-Bit Bears. You can sign up at, I think, is the Eventbrite on our Twitter, Clemente?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
If not, I'll tweet it out right now.
All right. So there you go. Check out the event on our Twitter account, at Nifty Portal. And you can join the event. There's a link to the Eventbrite. Sign up, and we'll see you there. That's on Thursday, Thursday, we're hosting that. It's in Seaport. I think it's going to be like an afternoon cocktail sort of thing at like 5. Is it 5?
5 to 7:30.
There we go. I like that time. So if you got a dinner afterwards, you can head to that dinner. I'm excited for that. So we'll see you at that event. Shout out to Two Bit Bears for making this possible. Really excited to be partnering with them. And it sounds like they have some creative ideas. I don't know what the situation is, but we may be doing some creative stuff down there. Seaport, it's back where all of the, if you're not familiar with New York, it's where the Bored Ape events were. And as a result, a lot of other events down there. I like Seaport. So anyways, we'll see you down there. Thanks again for joining. And we'll see you on tomorrow's episode. It seems that I'm hosting again tomorrow. Damn. Theo gets 2 days off. What a lucky guy.
Can't wait.
Remember, smash that like button and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitter,